thinking, talking about technology and computers, and I play golf, a pretty bad golfer for that matter, with a high handicap. But I realize what it is like to have a handicap. And I know that you're not an engineer. And was that a handicap at any point of time?
Initially it was. To tell you the truth, initially I thought I'm not keeping pace with it. I couldn't understand some of the things these people were discussing. But then, the penny dropped. If I don't simplify technology to explain it to the guys who are going to buy it from me, they're never going to buy it. They'll think, God, it's a rocket science. You need an engineer to explain it. So it became an advantage that I'm not an engineer, but I can still talk about it and I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
And that then you turn it around as an advantage. I worked a little harder than the rest to pick it up, but it's something you can pick up. You don't need an engineering degree. I have a firm belief, Sue, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you and I are from the same college, same university, FMS. I firmly believe any subject which teaches you logical thinking is a good subject to do. And engineering teaches you logical thinking, maths teaches you physics, economics, anything which teaches you logical thinking. Even history can teach you logical thinking as you learn through and look at what's happened. So subjects which teach you logical thinking help you to learn computers. It's not so difficult to pick up. And those were the days from explaining what computers can do to today, when we talk about robotics, we talk about cloud, we talk about AI, we talk about automation. The world has moved on. Yeah.
I think that's a great advice to a lot of young people, millennials today, especially women, and up and coming, especially the young people. It's fantastic advice. But I want to get on to the lighter side. And, this is in one of your meetings and a huge conference that was happening, or a conference meeting in our office where a lot of people were there, senior people as well. And suddenly there was this insect crawling on the table. And I believe you quickly whacked it and fully back to business, Beat it up, you were back with... Everybody was astonished, and I think you clearly told them that you mean business as well, and you were very cool about it.
Yeah. So we were in Udaipur. Udaipur in one of the most favorite hotels of mine in Udaivilas, and we were in the conference room. We were having a conference call, and this yellow insect comes in. वो मक्खी की क्या बोलते हैं उसको, शहद की मक्खी की तरह. And it's going all over the place. And we are having a conference call with Worldwide at that time. It's late evening. So it's buzzing around. So I picked up my chappal and I whacked the bloody makhi out of its pits because, it was just disturbing me. I don't know who told you this. We were around 20 people in the room.
I heard about the chappal, but I kept quiet. I wanted you to tell about that, And I think everybody, realized, how bold and courageous you are actually, because, how many people do that?
CP as the next guest. CP is just walked. CP
Punani is there.
Yeah, hey Neelam, hi. Hey Sunandan.
Hi CP, how are you doing?
Hi CP.
I'm good. Lovely to have you on our talk show. So nice of you to be there. Wonderful, and I thought it would be wonderful if both of you come together. And I'm sure Neelam is really surprised because you didn't expect that.
How can it be a surprise unless Neelam has gone cuckoo? Because Tanvi's mail.
I thought you were the next speaker, yeah.
Okay. Tanvi's mail gave it out. There you are. Tanvi's mail gave it out. But let me, since CP, you are on the show right now. You guys, both of you go back years, right? What are the early memories of Neelam?
So I'm trying to think about it. Neelam was one of, this is our days where I was a young rookie sales guy because I had come in from outside the computer industry. I'd come in from a company called Fenway India Limited, and Neelam was the product manager, and suddenly, me who didn't know the front side, back side of the computer, I think the first memories are Neelam wondering from where does this joker come in, and the second thing was that this joker ultimately is not so bad, so might as well support him. So I think that is my early memories, and I guess Neelam was always smarter than most of us, so she did figure out that I'm not that bad.
You were a pest, but matlab, he would, if he could smell business. So let me say this about CP. CP can smell business from a distance, and then no matter what happens, he is going to get to it, take the business. So he's the smartest business person I've seen, and I realized it that technology doesn't matter. He could be selling anything. Yeah, he could be selling from, I don't know, from a washing machine to computers in the same way. So it was best to support him because I was very sure he'll get the deal. So, but he wouldn't leave it. He was like a pest. If there's a pricing is not right, this functionality does not exist, I need it in the product. Products were re-engineered because of him.
Oh, God.
But I must tell you one thing about CP. Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to lose weight. I don't want to gain weight. I would take my lunch from home, and we were in Nehru Place. Huh? And I would go out for meetings, come back, not eating anything, promising myself, Anu, not going to eat anything outside. And I would open my dabba, usme kuch nahi hota tha. Because CP has had it for breakfast or before lunch, he's finished it off.
Neelam, you've been trying to become that, whatever the petite size for too long. And in your case, we became pregnant very soon. I mean,
moving from non-veg to ghas foos as well. Sorry.
Neelam has tried to live on ghas foos, and I was actually doing her a favor by eating whatever she used to bring. But I also admit is that I never opened a thermos flask because she also used to bring juice from home.
Okay. But I believe both of you love Chinese, and Neelam is particularly fond of Japanese food, right?
I mean, I think it is probably, I don't know, maybe, it is just coincidental that whenever, both the families, I must give you the background. Neelam moved to Noida, and both our children are almost similar ages. So, in a way, it was a family friendship. So, we will all, at least me, Anu, Atul and Neelam would go out for a meal. And it was just coincidental that whenever we went out for a meal, it was mostly Chinese. And the other time when Neelam and I would go out is when either I was, if I needed some advice or she needed some advice. And I can only tell you, Neelam being who she is, I think the only time she has actually needed advice was the two bosses she had from Bangalore. And that time we would meet in Oberoi, sit in 360 degree or whatever the coffee shop and have a lunch or a coffee. Yeah. So otherwise, I think Neelam has been pretty good. She hasn't needed much help.
Yeah. And CP, we met up even in Singapore for dinners at 10 o'clock in the night having Chinese, huh?
Yeah, that's right. But that time you had already made up your mind that you are going to leave your APAC job. So it was not that you were at the crossroads. It's actually more of a argument between me and Neelam. I said, Neelam, you have always been a business builder. You've been a hands-on person. Why do you want to get into this boardroom and advisory mode? Neelam being Neelam, anyway, she doesn't listen to anyone.
Yeah.
But coming back to food, I know that you have a favorite Michelin restaurant in Tokyo, Japan.
In Amsterdam. I love Japanese
Amsterdam.
food.
Okay.
Yeah. but
He hasn't
I have a
taken.
very controversial question to ask you.
Hmm.
So, if you had to pick between a Michelin star restaurant and your mother-in-law's cooking, which one would you pick?
I'll pick the Michelin star. Yeah. My mother-in-law's cooking is really bad.
You can say that because you have such a wonderful relationship. Because I can tell you that.
See, I picked, I must say, no, I would have picked Michelin star definitely. She doesn't cook too well. But I developed a taste for Japanese. When I was at HCL, I used to travel a lot to Japan in the last few years. And then I used to hate Japanese food. I couldn't eat it. I would go for the dinners and come out not eating anything and then go hunt for a McDonald's to eat a burger and say, khana khaya tha. So, but over the years, I developed such a taste for it that, it's one of the best cuisines. And the restaurant is in Amsterdam in Hotel Akura. It's Akura is a very, very nice hotel there. And it's a Michelin star. Fantastic teppanyaki grill. It's one of the best I've ever had. Yeah.
CP, I want to ask you a question. So, when you and Neelam talk about each other, it's in a very friendly way, and you're very authentic. But CP, what you may not have acknowledged, what did you learn from Neelam that you haven't acknowledged? And Neelam, what have you learned from CP? You already said he was the sharpest. He could smell a business from a distance and he would make sure he closed it. But this is what you acknowledge. What is it that you learned from him that you've not acknowledged? And CP, the same question to you.
So, again, you have to understand that Neelam and I can not meet for 2 years and still be best of friends. And or we could meet for 3 days and not have a proper conversation and fight for all those 3 days. So now the other part of Neelam that you all have to know is this is the longest she has spoken in English. Otherwise, she can switch to Hindi and Punjabi pretty quickly. So, I think she's just being too formal with you guys. And what I've learned from Neelam is mostly, I would say, her capability to interact with the janitor to a chief minister or a prime minister. She is not different to the janitor or the prime minister. She is what you get, and she would remain as sincere to the janitor as she would be to the prime minister. Having worked with her in many roles and avatars, the one thing you have to give it to her, that the second thing I would give it to her is that she's been a great friend. If I needed her on a sales call, she can grumble a bit and at least chew my ear a bit, but she would support me. When I was the NASSCOM chairman, I requested her, request is today being polite. I requested her to, chair the conference and change the NASSCOM's Global Leadership Conference. Earlier she would have chewed my left ear, now she chewed my right ear also. But one thing is for sure, that once she took over the responsibility, there is nobody better in the world, because the amount of detailing and amount of headmaster need that she can become, there is nobody better than her.
Thanks, CP. That was a really interesting one, because we really didn't know what we are going to do in that conference. It was so ambiguous at the stage when CP called me and I said, I don't want to do it. And he says, I'm not listening to you, and he banged down the phone. And I realized with CP's way of working that conference needed us to really focus on it. It took me nearly 3 months before I could get it into any shape and start moving, but people cooperated, and that was very important to get the cooperation. CP, it taught me one thing, and that one thing is so critical. He said, lead from front. That's it. No matter what difficult situation you are in, you lead it from the front. I never saw him saying, somebody else will do it, I'm not going to do it, right? And that, especially when the troops see you, as the head of the business, taking on the problems and leading it in the front to solve it or solve the crisis. The comfort they get of working around with you is phenomenal. That's what I learned from CP always. No matter how bad the situation is, he's going to face it. And what I also felt, once you face it, then you'll find answers for it too. And that's how his style of working has been. Yeah.
And Neelam,
Too much. We not work together well. We land up fighting. Maybe if we were spending one day at the conference, we would have fought every 4 minutes. We would have contradicted each other also. That has a style.
So Neelam, again, I mean, today for a change, she's not wearing a sari, but otherwise, for every meeting that I've gone with her, she has always worn a sari.
Yes.
So I can only say that her trademark sari is not there today. Something is missing.
Plus, Hindi Punjabi is not there.
I know. And I'm
I think
working
that
from
she's
home.
being kind to me because my Hindi and Punjabi is pretty bad.
Acha, Neelam, I know the two people that you have not enjoyed working with. That Bangalore.
There are two Bangalore. You want to get some more inputs on that.
And I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for two people that you have coached and trained. Who are those two people or three people, and what do you think you learned from those 2-3 guys?
See, the two people I didn't get along, they would not give us space to work.
Those two people, I don't want to talk about them on the camera. For that, we will meet in Ugroy.
No, but what I learned from those two, give space to people. They would just breathe down your neck, yeah. They won't trust you. They just think you're not going to be able to do it. I think, also being a woman, you sense this very quickly. You sense when a person trusts you, believes in your capabilities and lets you work, and somebody thinks, oh God, she's been thrust on me, ye nahi karegi. So both those guys lacked that faith in my ability to execute well. And that's where I learned that if I have to have groom people with me, I need to trust them, give them space to do what they want to do. So that's the learning I had. We always believe that people are not ready for new responsibilities. But what I've found is, whenever you give responsibility, people get ready for it. They see themselves growing. They build that capability. So, जो succession planning होती है ना, ready now, ready after 5 years, ready after 3 years. I think even if a person is not fully ready for a role, we should take a chance on them. And my learning has been, people who are not ready, in the sense that they still have little bit of time before they can get to that role, they really put their heart and soul to prove to you that they are the right person in the role. And that I think helps a lot. And so I do believe taking people ahead of their time, giving them the extra responsibility and letting them take it over.
He's asked specifically for two people that you're proud of, not him. He said, don't count me, but two people you're proud of, who've grown, whom you mentored.
Whom you have mentored, coached, and I have my guesses, but I wanted to hear it from you.
See, the IT industry has quite a few people who's worked with me. You have Alok Kori on one side in Dell. You have Som Satsangi on the other side. You have Rajiv Srivastava, who was in HP and now he's heading an energy company. And you have Karan, who's heading from after Microsoft. He's heading Google Cloud now after IBM. So quite a few who have worked with me. I don't know who CP has in mind yet at this stage.
So this is an open confession. By chance, Karan had called me for something just a few minutes ago, and I said, Karan, if I had to ask one question to Neelam, what should I ask? He said, why don't you ask this question? And trust me, I told him I know the answer. It is going to be Rajiv Srivastava. It is going to be Karan.
By the way, I did call Karan in the day about this. I also called Karan around 2 o'clock.
By chance, Karan and I were talking about something else. So So anyway, and for guys, I mean, since this is supposed to be the unofficial part of Neelam, I can only tell you is that there is one guy who deserves Padam Shri, Padam Vibhushan, Padam whatever civil award, because he lives with his three ladies and who can talk and talk and talk. So I don't know if Nana and Noopur ever came to your show, but I promise you then you don't need any orchestra.
No, Atul is really patient. Sunandan has been, he's really patient with us. Yeah.
So I meet Nana and Noopur after a long time in January, this January in Davos. And both of them are almost the best thing that can happen to you for that 1 hour. But then I looked at Atul. I mean, he was proud for 55 minutes, but the last 5 minutes, he said, "Yaar, ab to chup ho jao." So, and I was like thinking to myself, कि यार यहाँ पर ये this third one is missing. अगर ये तीनों एक साथ होती होंगी तो अतुल का क्या हाल होता होगा?
So this year both the girls had gone for World Economic Forum, and they were there and they met CP and Anu, his wife, there. So that's how he's remembering them.
Fantastic.
Good. Thank you, CP, for lending a dimension and making it fun and unofficial.
Anu, anything else?
So I'm taking notes. Can you believe it? That I'm taking notes and writing stuff. I'm getting ideas while both of them are talking. When I have to tell you one funny story. I met this bank. We do this Business World Magna Awards, which are banking awards. We do it in Bombay in February mostly. Sometimes they've gone into March. This year, of course, we haven't been able to do. And 3 years back, we did the award, and somebody who's the #1 banking guy in India. And he's a Punjabi. So there's one Gujarati between him and, Punjabi. And I try not to speak to someone in Punjabi. I am on the stage with him. And I know him formally. I met him once, twice. So I'm talking to him in English. So he tells me, "Tu Punjabi hai?" आंधी तेनू मैंने कहा मैनू आंधी है तो फिर पंजाबी विच क्यों नहीं गल करदा?
This is Aditya Puri.
So at NASSCOM, we invited him and Anand Mahindra to have a conversation together, and I'm briefing them. I'm briefing them because I was the host of the conference, as CP just mentioned to you. So I go in, and Aditya Puri is answering whatever question you are posing. He's answering in Punjabi here. So I was like, is he going to be serious on the stage or not? But it was perhaps one of the best conversations we had with him. And he is a different kind of a person.
I want to ask this to both of you and more to you, Neelam. See, I have a 16-year-old daughter. Your daughters are grown up, right? And she's right now doing her own show as I'm talking to you. She's doing her own show. She's in class 11. Tell me, when young women think of Neelam Dhawan, what do they think of makes them successful or will make them successful? What is your advice to young women who want to be leaders? And CP, the biggest reason young women become CEOs or leaders is because they find a male ally, a boss who believes, or female ally. They find allies, someone who believes in them, gives them opportunity. Because I believe growth is a function of opportunity. It's not a function of talent. Talent a lot of people have. That's a given.
I think Anurag, I would like to go first on this. And I'm again saying is that for your 16-year-old, if she is asked that what will make her Neelam Dhawan, I think the answer is more in belief in yourself. That failures or successes come to a male or a female in equal proportions.
Sure.
So as long as you are dreaming big and you are willing to be that resilient person which will take failures in a stride, then you will become a Neelam Dhawan. But in all fairness to Neelam also, that it was not only her. In a lot of ways, I mean, the support she got from her family, from her in-laws, because I've known her now for almost 35 years, the support she got from her family, and the way her father encouraged her, her brother encouraged her, I think a family also plays a role, because given choice, I mean, half the people in this world will say, oh, why do you need to work, and why do you need to, fly 10 days a month or 15 days a month? I think it takes a little bit of your self-belief, and number two, people around you to understand that you're destined for different things. Sorry, Neelam,
Thank you so much.
I know.
Yeah, no.
Neelam,
no.
your view. I've said more for young corporate executives who are in their first jobs, first 5 years.
Yeah.
They're looking to get married. They have to balance stuff. They have to deal with sometimes hostile male bosses. Those kind of things.
And I do spend a lot of time, especially with women in technology. I chair some awards and functions for them. I participate in a lot of talks. I gave talks even yesterday to women in research in technology. Both they were logged in from Singapore and from Bangalore to listen. The first thing what CP said, confidence. Many girls are afraid to air their views, and they doubt themselves and their capabilities, because many women, no matter what culture you are from, the parents don't give you the freedom to speak up, right? And as a result, they are always hesitant that whether what I am thinking, what my views are they of value or not. So the first thing is believe in yourself and have confidence. Two, if you've said something which everybody laughs at, it's okay. You learn from that laughter also, okay, this was a stupid comment to make. But having that, I will learn from every situation and I'm confident in my capabilities. Listen, nobody hires us to fix our weaknesses. Everybody hires us to looking at our strengths. So we have to always play on our strengths. We cannot be thinking, oh, I'm a bad speaker, oh, I have this attitude problem, oh, I can't work late in hours. Women many a time think of the limitations and they define their canvas. But play on your strength. You may be the most intelligent person, you may be the one who can articulate the best, you may be the most logical thinker in a situation. You don't know, but have the confidence in your intrinsic ability to do well. I think that is the biggest missing piece. I blame it to the social fabric more than to women, because we don't encourage them to speak up freely. And that's where it is. The basic is that. And challenges will come no matter what role we play. The moment the role becomes very big and challenging, family will say, "Acha, chhod do, tumhare bas ka nahi hai ab ye. You've outgrown it." One should not, nothing outgrows you, because your capabilities build up as you go through life for that. So let's just say it's confidence and belief in yourself, which is really needed. And I have had conversations yesterday with a very bright person on she wants to pursue a technical career. Is that a right thing, or she should move to a managerial career? Because in the family, if you're not managing a team, तो तुम तो कुछ नहीं किए ना life में. You are just a researcher, you are just doing technical work. So the pride, the families have to take pride in what roles you play. And I think today that's changing rapidly around the world. We appreciate whatever our daughters and our wives and our husbands do.
I don't want to over get into too much detailing, but as you're a parent, CP is a parent. What do you tell your children for them to be bringing out the best in themselves? I just want to ask I have 2 young kids. I want to ask this. I want to use this opportunity. So Nandan's kids are a little older than mine.
मैं फिर बता दूं, मैं तो एक ही statement बोलती हूँ सबको.
I think, Anurag, you are under a misconception that your children listen to you.
तो वो मैं मान लिया, लेकिन subconsciously माने या ना माने फर्क पड़ता है. आप you can be humble about it. They have their own mind, but they also listen to their parents. ऐसा नहीं.
So I can only say is that we tried to influence a little bit. The only thing that seems to have worked is that they are like free flowing water. They find their own rhythm. Your job is to only help them navigate through that free flowing water and make sure they don't hurt themselves. Try and see they don't hurt themselves or hurt others. I think being close to them and being around them is the only thing that you can do to young people. More often than not, I would suggest let them discover themselves. Number two, as I said, the influence part of it. Yeah, if I wanted Sanya to, if she was in doubt about something, yeah, I might tell Neelam, why don't you go and have coffee with her? Or, she may say that, why don't you talk to Nupur about it? But I think both Neelam and I, or Atul or Anu, have realized that no Sanya and Nupur actually listen to us.
Yeah. So Anurag, they're not going to listen to us. They are different persons. Their DNA is different from ours. They're going to think differently, and they're living in a very different time than what we were living in. They are far more influenced by the environment today. We were not. So they're going to change. They are not going to be like us. So I have always told both the girls, do whatever you want to do. After 10th, I was very clear. Please choose subjects which do not require tuition, because I will not be going from one tutor to another tutor to a third tutor for you to do well in subjects you hate. कोई फायदा नहीं है, because you will never work on those subjects on your own also, right? So choose subjects which you like. Only condition is you have to do extremely well, because now I'm giving you choice. Choose what you want to do. And my elder daughter has gone into advertising and market. She is working for Weber Shandwick, and my younger daughter is in consulting in PwC. They chose. Left to me, I don't know whether I would have told them these are the careers they should take, but it's up to them. I think that the choices have to be left to them, but the only condition I had is choose what you want to do, but then you do well at it. So it's not about subjects, it's not about,
We should have got her daughters also on the show.
Absolutely, and we'll get her back again for that. But this reminds me what CP told me, that Neelam always said she should be the topper. So
Not in front of her
That
daughter.
was for myself, That
yeah,
was
for yourself. Yeah, for yourself, of course.
Yes, I used to calculate कि उसका 1 mark मेरे से ज़्यादा कैसे आया क्लास में, या 2 marks से वो first आई है, मैं second क्यों आई. I would know which subject में उसको दूसरे को कितने number मिले मेरे से ज़्यादा. I was like that. And I can't help it. And my brothers used to laugh at me. My cousins used to laugh at me, and they used to say, I don't know why she's so hung up on this. But that's how it is. Yeah.
Lovely. Anu, anything else?
So
because while you are making
you wanted to
notes,
ask her about. You have 2-3 very interesting questions, right? About the restaurant somewhere in France.
Oh man.
No. I wanted to talk to her about the fact that she's a lover of art, especially paintings, and So if you had a chance to be represented in a style of painting, which one would it be? I'll give you 3-4 options. A, abstract. B, surrealist. C, impressionist. And D, none of the above, because all these options are rubbish, and Sue has no idea what he's talking about.
So surrealist is what I appreciate a lot. but all these apply quite a bit to the foreign artists, like you can see Rembrandt, and he's a surrealist, and you can have a look at. Of course, I like Salvador Dali also, but I like art. I like looking at art. I do go to museums. I went to every museum you can think of whenever I go to a place. But I look at art. I enjoy Indian art more. I find it more relatable to me, and I like Indian art more. I do spend time. If I have to buy a piece of art, I spend months first thinking, reading about the artist, looking at their work, going to the galleries, narrowing it down, and then and I appreciate Indian art a fair bit. So I like Satish Gujral, I like Kishan Khanna's, I like Paresh Methi, I like Neeraj Goswami, I like a lot also. And I like Vaikuntham. So I like with figures. I like people in those paintings. Not so much of a scenery person, though I have a few of Paresh Methi when he did sceneries also. Yeah, but I like art. I spend time reading about it, getting it going, looking at it, and I enjoy that. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Sanjay Bhattacharya, my friend. I think you like his stuff as well.
Yes, I like his stuff too.
Sanjay Bhattacharya. So, I mean, and if it's a Delhi artist like Sanjay Bhattacharya, she will always appreciate.
Yeah.
That she does. She actually, I think, connected with him, and I don't know whether you picked up anything, but
No, that time I picked up Paresh Methi, so I didn't take his because he was preparing for an exhibition.
Yes, that I remember that. Yeah.
And then I just started thinking and looking at Paresh Methi, and then I got help to get something commissioned from him to do it for me, and it's a passion for me. So when I travel, I do. I mean, like when I travel, and that's what I was telling you in France. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days is not enough to see Louvre, right? But you get tired of seeing it, so you have to go multiple times and see it. And same is with the Rijks in Amsterdam. Rijks is also another great museum to see. And of course, you have MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, Metropolitan MoMA. So Met, and you have to go and see that and appreciate it. I really enjoy that. That's interesting for me.
Yep. You mentioned Louvre, and a question on Louvre is the Louvre A, your view, underrated, B, overrated, 3, C, aptly rated, or Sue really has no idea what these questions and should probably move on?
I think Louvre is...
The last part is more true.
Because, I can't talk about all these arts.
No. So there's another thing. You cannot take Atul Dhawan in these museums with you. He gets bored. So वो थोड़ा सा देखेगा, हो गया चलें. So you have to really go on your own, spend the time. I think Louvre is underrated. If they have 20,000 art pieces on display, they have 20,000 which they haven't displayed. So every time you go, they have a different display. So every time you go to Paris, you can go to Louvre, except for Mona Lisa wala place where everything is the same. The rest keeps changing.
Absolutely. You can never do it even in 3 days. I mean, talking about Eiffel Tower, on a scale of the fact that, the restaurants in Eiffel Tower, what would you put from yuck to I would like a French passport, please, kind of thing? How delicious was their bread or baguette?
Baguette, yes. Crepes, yes. Otherwise, yuck. But the day I went to Eiffel Tower, I made an effort to go right till the top. First, I had to stand in a line for the ticket because online it was so
bad. Yes, absolutely.
And it was some -2 degrees. -2, and I'm standing in the line. 45 minutes to get from the ticket to the lift. And then I go up one level. You have a good view, you go to the top, fogged out, you can see nothing but thick fog outside. So that was really after that I no need to go to Eiffel Tower ऊपर से देखने के लिए.
Absolutely.
But Arc de Triomphe is
it's better to walk. It's better to walk, in fact, sorry. I said it's better to walk. I mean, in fact, you get to the restaurant quicker. They're on the first and second floor. So.
Yeah.
But great. Coming, Anu, anything else? Because, while you're writing, I have been looking at the watch. You know why? Because with Neelam, you got to start exactly at 6 and finish at 7. I've been told that, anything Neelam is so punctual about everything, right? So, but this show is different.
Yeah.
This is very unofficial show. We're not going to talk about any official stuff. Anu, anything else? I think
It's just been fascinating, and bringing in CP brings another dimension to it. I think it's fascinating for me personally. I have learned a lot.
I must say that, when I spoke with CP, he said something, and he said that you're completely black and white in that sense, absolutely you want very clear, transparent, authentic, and all that. And I think it was very clear today what you said to us, and from the heart, more than the mind, I think. And thank you so much
Thank you.
Next
for
time
your
you want to
time
do
being with us, and thank you, CP.
मैं
I must
available
say-
हैगा ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਂਦੀ
Welcome.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ
And thank you, CP. I must say that, you've been really sporting to accept this and, join us at the last minute. And fabulous to have you on board. And I think it's all Neelam's magic.
It truly
Thank you.
is, Neelam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, CP.
Don't underestimate the power of Anurag also.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
I am a hairless, toothless infant, sir. I have a long way to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, everybody.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank
You
you.
had so much. CP, I picked up your phrase. I keep using it. You can charge me a royalty fee. I don't think you need the money. Give it to somebody else. But I keep using these days with my team that, dreams don't perish and storms don't last. That bit I picked up. So,
Fantastic.
Good.
Lovely.
And I
I'm going to say it as
promise
well.
you that even COVID will go away.
yes, it will.
Absolutely.
All right. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank
Look
you.
forward.
Bye, Neelam.
Thank
Thank
you
you
once
so much.
again.
Really
Take care.
enjoyed. Thank you, CP.
All the best.